There are some people, you know the type, who have an answer for everything. Never asks a question, never admits a mistake, speaks with total certainty, even when the facts say otherwise. And here's the uncomfortable part. It works. Certainty reads as competence, even when it shouldn't. Psychology has been studying this exact gap for decades. The gap between how sure someone sounds and how much they actually know. 5 research-backed reasons explain it, and by the end, you'll probably recognize the pattern in more people than you expected. They overestimate what they know. In 1999, psychologists David Dunning and Dunning-Kruger published a study that's since become one of the most cited findings in the field. People with limited knowledge in a subject often significantly overestimate their own competence in it. Their explanation was almost elegant in its simplicity. Recognizing your own gaps requires enough knowledge to see the gaps in the first place. Someone early in learning a subject doesn't yet know what they don't know, so their confidence outpaces their actual understanding, sometimes by a wide margin. The unsettling part of the finding, this isn't a flaw in a few people. Dunning and Kruger's data suggested it's closer to a default setting for how human confidence works before expertise catches up. 2. They rarely question their own thinking. Psychologist John Flavell introduced the term metacognition in 1979, essentially thinking about your own thinking. Actively checking your reasoning, noticing your assumptions, asking whether your first conclusion actually holds up. People who believe they're always right tend to skip this step almost entirely. The first thought becomes the final thought, with nothing in between to test it. Flavell's broader body of research found that metacognitive skill isn't fixed. It's more like a habit that strengthens with deliberate use, which means constant certainty isn't just a personality trait. It's often a metacognitive habit that was never built. 3. They confuse confidence with competence. Researchers Moore Paul Healy spent years studying overconfidence in a 2008 paper that broke it into distinct types, one of which they called overprecision, excessive certainty that your beliefs are accurate, regardless of whether they actually are. Their work also explains why this fools other people so reliably. Humans use confident delivery as a mental shortcut for trustworthiness, a fast, largely unconscious heuristic. A confident voice sounds like a correct one, even when the two have nothing to do with each other. Over time, that external reward loop can feed back inward. The more an audience treats certainty as evidence, the more the speaker starts to believe their own certainty is proof too. 4. They ignore information that challenges their beliefs. Psychologist Peter Wason ran the foundational research on this in 1960, coining the term confirmation bias, the tendency to seek out, notice, and remember information that supports what you already believe, while overlooking or dismissing information that doesn't. Wason's original experiments showed people actively avoiding tests that could disprove their own theory, even when disproving it was the fastest route to the right answer. The bias isn't passive, it's a preference, built into how people gather evidence in the first place. The result compounds over time. The more one-sided the information someone lets in, the more convinced and the less accurate they become. 5. Truly intelligent people stay curious. Psychologist Mark Leary led a landmark 2017 study on what he termed intellectual humility, the capacity to recognize the limits of your own knowledge and hold your beliefs as open to revision. Leary's research found something that runs against the intuitive assumption. Intellectual humility wasn't linked to lower intelligence. If anything, it tracked with better reasoning and more accurate judgment overall. That tracks with a simple pattern. The more someone actually learns about a subject, the more unanswered questions they tend to discover underneath it. Certainty shrinks as real understanding grows, not the other way around. People who think they're always right usually aren't unintelligent. They're often just caught in well-documented psychological patterns, knowledge gaps that hide themselves from view, thinking that never gets checked, confidence mistaken for evidence, information filtered to fit a conclusion already reached. The actual marker of intelligence, according to the research, runs the other direction entirely. It's staying open, asking the next question instead of defending the last answer. Treating being wrong as information, not injury. The smartest person in the room is rarely the one with an answer for everything. Usually, they're the ones still asking questions. If you're into the psychology behind bias, belief, and how the mind fools itself, subscribe. Because here, we don't just describe behavior, we trace it back to the research.